Hi and welcome back. I've just been reading about a cool book. This is called One Cool Friend. And I have a couple of books to share with you about people who think they're cool. Now, like we said about hatch and other words that can have two meanings, cool can have a lot of meanings too. Cool can be like people who think they're really something. They're cool. And cool can also be like getting cold. I wonder what kind of cool this book is about. Let's take a look. This is Elliot. Elliot is a child, but he is very proper. Proper is a fancy word that means he always uses correct speech. He dresses fancy every day in a very beautiful suit. He speaks to his father very, very appropriately, like, "Dad, may I have," or "May I do this," or "Excuse me, please." He is so mannerly. But let's see about this friend part. Let's see. Tony Buzzio and David Small are going to share this story with us. Elliot's dad hears about a wonderful thing that's happening at the local aquarium. Aquarium, that's a fun place to go. And in that fancy word is the word aqua, which in another language means water. So an aquarium is a place you can have fish, and it can be small, or it can be a big place, kind of like a zoo, but for water animals. You might think you wouldn't find a bird at an aquarium, but Elliot finds penguins. And penguins are birds that like to live near the water, cold water. And here's Elliot, and here are all the penguins. He finds out that this particular type of penguin was named after the explorer Magellan, who sailed around the world. Elliot loves penguins because, look at them. They look like they have on a fancy suit too, like a tuxedo. Elliot thinks he has a lot in common with penguins, and so he asks his dad, who you notice isn't with him. His dad is reading a magazine. So he goes to ask his dad, "Can I have a penguin?" His dad says, "Sure. Here's $20. He thinks that Elliot is talking about a stuffed penguin, like they might have at the gift shop. But nope, that's not what Elliot said. Remember, he's very proper, and he didn't say stuffed penguin. Here he is going in the water after the smallest penguin, and he puts him in his backpack and gets ready to go home. I'm sure that's not allowed at the aquarium. When Elliot gets home, he lives in a big fancy house, and he wants to make the penguin feel comfortable. So look what he does. He brings his wading pool upstairs, and he drags the garden hose all the way upstairs. And of course he says to his dad as he goes by his room, "Excuse me for any noise I might be making," because he's very proper. And then he turns the air conditioner temperature way down, where it gets freezing in his room, and they turn this into an ice skating rink for the penguin. What a good friend you are, Elliot. Now, how long do you think the penguin can stay with Elliot and be his cool friend before Dad finds out? Where will Elliot sleep where he can be comfortable? Remember, he wants to be cool, like cold, when he sleeps. Where will he swim because the wading pool is frozen? What's Elliot going to have to do to help his friend feel comfortable and to keep Dad from knowing what's going on at the house? There are many more adventures and funny moments. And I will tell you there's a surprise ending too. So be sure and read all the way to the end of One Cool Friend, and you're going to love it. Speaking of cool, I found a book about a girl who is really cool. When I looked at the cover, I thought, hey, a girl who likes high heels, fancy socks, and animal print? Ooh, she looks like she could be a friend to me. I like her already. And she has a beautiful name, Summer Jackson. Ooh, isn't that pretty? And Summer Jackson in this book wants to be grown up. It was written by Teresa Harris and illustrated by A.G. Ford. I found out that the author always wanted to be a grown-up when she was a little girl. And she didn't want to wait, just like Summer. She wants to be a grown-up right now. She's tired of being 7. She's just over being 7. Look at her face. She's in a foul mood. She's just looking like a sourpuss. And she's got her toys just like she doesn't care about them anymore. And she wants to be grown up. She wants to have a cell phone. And she wants to do grown-up stuff. So she tells her family, I am going to be grown up right now. And she gets ready for school, and look what she wears. High heels, a special jacket called a blazer that looks very businesslike, and she has a briefcase. And she's going to school, and she thinks she looks grown up because she's seen her mom and dad dress up for work, and that's how they have to dress for their jobs. Well, at school, when she starts acting like a grown-up, she gets a little bit bossy. And when she comes home, she tries to boss her mom and dad too. After dinner, here they are eating dinner. And when they're finished, mom and dad just get up and walk away. And she's like, hey, what's going on? And they said, well, grown-ups need to clear the table and do the dishes. We think we'll be the kids for a while, and you can be the grown-up. Ooh, she didn't think about that part. And when mom and dad go out to play, that's not so fun for Summer. She'd kind of like to go out to play too. So what's going to happen with this grown-up and kid thing? Do you ever wish you could be a grown-up? And then sometimes are you so happy that you're a kid? It's okay to be confused like that and to wish for growing up because someday you will be. Do you know what Teresa, the author, said in the back of the book? She said she always wanted to be a grown-up, but now she wishes like everything that she could be a kid again. I think she's telling us to enjoy the time and the age we are and not try to hurry because every age is special. Don't forget to read about Summer, my new friend. And there was a time when I thought I could do a grown-up thing too. In this book, Fancy Nancy, Hairdos and Hair Don'ts, I just thought I could maybe get me a new hairdo. You see, it was going to be picture day at my school, and I wanted it to be so special. I picked out my dress, purple with ruffles, and I hung it on a special rack so I could just look at my special picture dress. And then I realized I hadn't thought of a picture hairdo. Now, there are lots of things you can do with curly hair, but it just so happens I was reading a book about a famous pilot who was a woman named Amelia Earhart. I was reading her biography. That's a fancy word for a story of her life. So I imagined, what would it be like if I could have shorter hair like Amelia Earhart did? Well, I did a bad thing because I thought I could be like a grown-up and cut my own hair, and this is a hint about what's going on in the story. You see some of my curls laying on the floor. I'm very glad they grew back. What do you think my mother's going to say when she sees my new hairdo? I didn't think about that before I started, but mothers are not happy when you use scissors inappropriately. We have this rule at my house: scissors are for paper, and I sort of messed up big time. What's going to happen on picture day? What is my picture with my shorter hairdo going to look like? Do you think I did a professional grown-up job on my haircut? Well, I'll tell you, this is a story I would kind of like to forget, but Jean O'Connor and Robin Price Glasser have made it into this beautiful book, so I can never forget that day. I think you might find it humorous. Now that it's over, it's a little funny to me too. I've had fun sharing these stories with you today. They all have Fancy Nancy's, stamp of approval, and I hope you'll enjoy reading them. I've been hearing that you liked books about animals, so I thought I would share a few with you today. But maybe you'd like to know more about real animals in a more scientific way. If so, let me know, and I'll be glad to bring some of the books that you would like for me to share. Let me hear from you, and again, I thank you for watching. Keep reading, do your best in school, and see me next time. Until then, au revoir.